beautiful journey of 47 years. And to make a film like this is not an easy thing. We call it as pan-Indian, but this is a real pan-Indian film. We tried to make it a pan-Indian film long back called Saga Kalapani. It was our production. So it was our dream to make a film like this. And finally, Prithviraj, thank you, Prithi, for making a wonderful, it's a magic. This is not a film, actually this is our sweat and blood. And we have come out with a trilogy, and we started with Lucifer, and this is Empuraan, and we'll come out with another film. And I don't know what to speak more about this film because I think our film will speak to you.
The film is not easy. Normally, it's not easy. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of decision making, it's constant thought process on putting together a giant film, especially when you're doing something like this. But when we got together and decided that we are going to follow the huge success of Lucifer with a second part to what has always been conceived as a trilogy by Mr. Mohanlal, I knew deep down that for the second part of the franchise, the ideation and the conception that I had in mind is going to be extremely challenging to pull off at just a Malayalam film. Because the scale at which we have attempted this and the canvas against which the story needs to be told is really the deep end of the waters for our industry. We have not tried to do something like this before. There is nothing for us to fall back on. Very much like Saga Kalapani, like Sir did so many years ago. We really didn't have a precedent to look upon and learn what could go wrong or what is the right way to do it. We didn't know. I remember 2022, I think, I flew to Sir's office in Dubai, and that's where I gave him my first narration of this film, of Empuraan. And 50% of my heart was telling me, he's going to listen to the narration. My producer, Mr. Anthony Pirmal, is also there. And they're going to very politely tell me, listen, fantastic, great to be dreaming like this, but you have to let go of this one. This is not going to be possible. But as soon as I finished the narration, he told me, we are doing this, now let's go for dinner. So that confidence is what really spurred me on. And then I remember all through the dinner, it was me reminding him, but you realize that so I kept telling him, but you realize that I need to travel in 6 countries. And it was like this, and we have the sequence where the helicopter that. So the confidence that himself and Mr. Anthony Pirmal gave me is the reason why we are all sitting here today. Secondly, see with people like Mr. Gokulam Gopal and families, thankfully Malayalam cinema is today at a place where we can think of big budgets and big canvases because people like him who are truly passionate about cinema. Right from, I don't know if you know a film called Prithviraj, the great Mammootty sir leading it. Mr. Gopalan used to think of films like that back then, which was again unheard of in Malayalam in terms of its budget, its scale. But he used to do it because he believed in it with conviction and he truly loved cinema as an art form and a medium. So budgets are now maybe accessible for us with people like him backing projects like these. Where we used to fail, I believe, as an industry is in setting up a structure where we can then bring our cinema to people across the country and across the world. Malayalam always has had an illustrious heritage of making fantastic cinema, but I think we were lacking, and I've said this to my friends in the Mumbai media before, where we were lacking is our ability to properly go through an exhibition network and bring it to theatres across the country and across the world, which has been evolving at a frenetic pace, thankfully, recently. Which is where people like my dear friend, Mr. Anil Tadhani, comes into the equation. Because he has one of the strongest distribution networks in the country, and thanks Anil again for that one midnight phone call from me and just saying, yeah, okay, Prithvi. And, I promise that Malayalam cinema will now continuously be bugging you. But it's really kind of him to show the kind of faith that he has in this film and in me. And, it means a lot to us that when we make a film with such aspirations from one part of the country, and we dream of being able to take it to every corner of the country and the world, that distributors like himself, like companies with such heritage like AA Films, then put their conviction on us and throw their weight behind us and tell us, no, let's go all out. That's what really matters. That's been the change, actually. That's where we have really sort of started flourishing as an industry. So there is Anil for North, there's very dear friends of mine, Mohanlal for Karnataka, and Gopalan sir is distributing it himself in Tamil Nadu. And Andhra Telangana, again a close friend of mine, Mr. Dil Raju, is distributing it. And in Kerala, of course, we have the market leaders, Ashirwad Cinemas. And across the world, from the UAE GCC to North America to Europe to Asia Pacific, we have managed to tie up with absolutely top-rated, top-of-the-line leading distributors to bring this film to theaters across the world. So I really hope that this becomes a very accessible piece of cinema for everyone around the world. And if that is indeed the case, and if this will then go on to hopefully do well and set a benchmark, this could be the beginning of a lot of things for Malayalam cinema, which in turn would mean a lot of things for our overall aspiration of eventually amalgamating into this giant Indian film industry. So let's hope we're on the right direction. I promise you, there really isn't a Malayali who's not a Mohanlal or a Mammootty fan. There really isn't. So these two gentlemen are no longer just actors or stars for us. They are deeply ingrained into our systemic cultural thinking. So for any Malayali, yeah, I mean, we might just sit across a coffee table and argue about who's better. Oh no, he does comedy better, he does that better, he does this better. But these two guys, we love them. And there really isn't a Malayali who will go back and say that I'm not a fan of Mammootty and Mohanlal. We all are. The first things I told Mohanlal sir also, that I want to go to real locations, actual filming locations, and capture everything in real. So which then meant that because of how the film is written and because of how the story traverses, I had to spend a very long time in finding these locations, which took me almost 2 years of traveling across the world. If I had to pick one favorite location of all that I shot this film in, I think both sir and me, we loved Santa Fe in New Mexico. We shot quite a few elaborate sequences in the US. And of all the locations in the US that we traveled to, I think Santa Fe, New Mexico was very, very inspiring for a filmmaker, because that's how the place looks. Plus, yeah, I mean, that's very close to the Oppenheimer site. So Oppenheimer had just released, or was about to release, and all the hype was about that film when we landed in Santa Fe. So we got to go around and see the place and all that. So that's a memory that I'll get. That way is maybe our attempt, as Sir rightfully said, at gate crashing into that phenomenon. This is very much your large scale, big canvas, big ticket, commercial action entertainer. At least that's what I've tried to make. Whether I've succeeded or not, I don't know, but that's what I have tried to make. So maybe we are hoping that this will break a few barriers. This will get a few people to think, hang on, next time a Malayalam film comes to a small screen in Jharkhand, maybe it's worth giving it a try on a weekend. That's what we are hoping for. We dream very big, us down south, and this time I think we have managed to follow it up with some serious things.
A couple of times. Prithviraj is one of the greatest directors. Seriously, he is going to be one of the top rated directors in their scene. This is only a tip of iceberg. Yeah, it will happen because that kind of conviction is what's called. He needs cinema, always in it. Otherwise, he's not a person. Thank you.
For this film, my job was very easy because Prithviraj Raju is one of the directors who has utmost clarity and conviction of, as Bridget already spoke and Lazar also spoke here, the clarity, the conviction and the confidence that he has and the way he communicates with the actor it just makes the job so easy. You just have to try to deliver what he's expecting from you. So for this film, it was a very pleasurable, very pleasant experience doing this film. And even Lucifer. impossible to pick one.
Like a couple of days back, I had the privilege of meeting Rajini sir and showing him the trailer. And in fact, I had an opportunity to make a film with him which I couldn't pull off. But the way he spoke to me, what he told me about my work, what he told me after having watched the first part, those are things that I will forever cherish. If you ask me how many awards that I won, I don't remember. But these things I will never forget. So of course, I mean, these are priceless. Sometimes I think it will be amazing for my friends in the media to actually come and see the process of an actor like Mr. Mohanlal, or for that matter, Mr. Mammootty, because I've worked with him as well, not as a director, but as an actor. I think it gives you so much insight into how an absolute top-of-the-line actor goes through his process or her process. Like Manju, for example. I was, Manju sitting here like she's one of us, and she's a legend in her own way. I remember, I think it was about 20 years back maybe, I was doing an interview for some channel in Tamil Nadu, and they had asked me, if you ever direct a film, and I had no plans, they asked me, if you ever direct a film sometime in your life, who do you cast in? I said, Mohanlal and Manjuwarrier. I did that interview. I'm assuming it would still be online. And here I am. I've cast Mohanlal and Manjuwarrier. So it's a privilege. And my wonderful cast from Hindi cinema. A large part of this film happens in North India. So a large part of this film has Hindi as its language of communication. And I'm very particular that all 5 linguistic versions of the film will retain Hindi where Hindi is being spoken. I'm very particular about that because that very much forms, that part of the film very much forms the core flavor of what the narrative is about. So because of that, I wanted to make sure that I cast the absolute best actors I can find from Hindi cinema. And two of the finest decisions that I have made in terms of casting for this film is Abhimanyu Singh and Sukant Goel. Sukant is here, right? No, he's left. Yeah, that's like it. Anyway, so it's Abhimanyu Singh and Sukant Goel. They play central characters in my film. Abhimanyu plays a central character in my film. And I have to tell you, the first person who told me, listen, I think this guy should be played by Abhimanyu Singh is my writer, Murli Gopi. And which is when I revisited a film, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Gulal. My God. Why is this? Why are you guys not? What an actor this guy is, man. It was a joy to shoot. It was an absolute joy to film with him. And you'll see why when you see the film. Because, I know you're in my film for very, very little while, but you know how important you are in the film and what you say is for the film. It was a privilege to have you on location. I did not know she was Amil Sir's sister. I know Amil Sir quite well. So finally, when the audition tapes came through, and Priyata is here, my casting director, and I said I like her. When I saw her audition, I said I want her. So like, oh yeah, she's wonderful. By the way, she's also Amil Sir's sister. I said, really? So then I called Amil Sir, and I just wanted to. He just messaged me asking, is my sister good in the film? So just now. So I said, sir, she's a lot better than good. So thank you so much, Shubham. In a film like this, at a scale and at a narrative structure like this, to have as little screen time as you do, and to make someone tear up and remember you even when the film finishes, it's just amazing. My dear grandmom, where is she? Yeah. She really doesn't look like my grandma, but what a performance. Love you in the film, I really do, because I've seen you guys so many times over and over again while editing on the edit table. I keep appreciating all the nuances you have brought out in your character. The finest thing an actor can do is to own the character, bring in your own interpretation to it, and then surprise the filmmaker and the writer. You guys have surprised all of us. Aishwarya, you are in the film for very little while, very, very little while. But you are the pain that carries the film. You are the hurt that drives the film. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being part of the film. Behzad, I know you did this like a favor. You needn't have come to my film and done this role. But thank you so much for traveling all the way to this remote little village somewhere north of Shimla that I took a 600-member unit to and shot the scene. But thank you for coming there, and thank you for being the character, and thank you for voicing those lines, because it took an actor like you to say those lines to convey the fact that what is wrong should be treated and looked upon as wrong. So thank you for it. And same way, there are many actors in my film who's just given me the most wonderful performances. My technical crew, my cinematographer, my production designer, my costume designer, my makeup man, my editor, my creative director, my associate director, my team of assistants, my production boys, my light boys. I do cinema in a way where I believe all of them have equal ownership over my film as I do. And if it were possible, I would have my entire team here, celebrating the fact that we are closing in on a release. But yes, it's just been a wonderful journey for me. And I truly believe that making these 3 films has actually made me a better actor, because I have been let into the processes of so many fine actors, so many fine technicians, and I've learned so much from all of them. All these people together, I think, will eventually make me a very good actor.
Thank you so much.